Boom! Ho, focus! Hey internets, another video that I really wanted to drop. There's no question here, I'm not answering a question, but I had a really good conversation with a friend of mine the other day where we were talking about the state of the industry and sort of where everything is at the moment. And it's a critical moment. A lot of brands that are out there are finding a lot of resistance. Like I said, I told you this is as Gary Vaynerchuk as I get in terms of calling the shot in the future. But I told you that fashion has not been interrupted yet the way that it's going to be in its full potential, right? Everything is growing and moving and changing. Technology is slashing things and moving things. Everything that's in retail and in malls and in shops are suffering. You know, like anything that's kind of an old, like an Abercrombie and Fitch and Talbots and even the anchor retailers or your Sears, all of those Nordstroms, all of those numbers are declining because the pattern in which people are shopping is completely changing, and it's going where? Online. Correct. It's going online. That's how you guys are discovering me and watching all my content, so then I could then help you with your journey through fashion. So number one, you better believe I'm on the edge of watching what's going on and all of the changes. And I'll tell you for myself, okay? If this is the first time you've ever clicked on any of my videos, over 18 years of experience. I've worked professionally in fashion since 2000. I know I look young. I'm actually 40 years old as the time that this is post dating. So I've owned my own high volume screen printing shop for over 3 years. I've worked for multiple multi-million-dollar brands, from designer, senior designer, all the way to creative director and brand director, where I was basically running a multi-million-dollar brand for a brand owner that owned several of them. By the way, she's rich, y'all. She's rich. She was rich, y'all, or is rich. In any case, what I want to say is, for me and all of that experience, that whole resume that I just talked about, it's scary for me. It's scary for me. So this is why it's really critical for me to try to give you guys as much information as possible. One of my goals on this channel, and I've said it several times, is I want to be a part of the next 3 to 5 multi-million-dollar brands that really make it and really make a change and a dent in the industry of fashion. I want to be a part of that. You know, I've been to many very influential brands, or brands that are doing really good stuff, and told me, hey, we make all of our interns watch your video. Like when they come into intern, they'll start by watching X amount of videos, or they've bookmarked certain videos of mine, and that's all very fulfilling. And my goal later, again, is to work hand in hand with some of the best talent that can really make a difference in the world of fashion. So having said all of that, here's the whole essence of the video that I want to communicate to you guys. It is not a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Okay? This has to do with everything in terms of your mindset and the way you approach something that could be, that you think is like small and menial. It's a marathon, okay? I was talking to a brand, I was consulting a brand, a person who's gonna launch a brand within the next year, okay? And we're closing out the year as this is post-dating, and he was telling me about this huge launch he wants to do, okay? And the launch is gonna have a million, like, dancers and all this, like, media going. He wants to make films. He wants to do a lot of different things, right? And I love that energy. I love that energy. That's great energy. But my suggestion immediately after that was like, okay, so after that, what is the intended action that you want? What is the call to action if I get into my my digital marketer mode? What is the call to action for all of those people, though, if they attend the party? They're just gonna drink the sponsored liquor and listen to the music, dance, have a great time? But are they gonna have a great time and say, wow, I had such a great time last night, that was a great party, that was a great event, I saw some really interesting things, and now I'm gonna buy 3 shirts from that brand? Right? Know what I'm saying? All of you guys have been, or most of you have been to a party that's been sponsored by a clothing line, or they do like some sort of a fashion show, and how many times does that make you want to buy the brand? Okay, now I love the energy, but here's what I want to say. You want to think in terms of having maybe an event every month. you want to think of having the event be online. I've said many times, if it's an in-person event, you're doing a launch, a fashion show, you need to have it in a digital form so that the rest of the world can experience it, or else it didn't happen. So you could have a packed house, not like 200 people. Let's say you have 300 people and you packed like a small a venue that can hold that many people. You pack it shoulder to shoulder, everybody's watching, they have a great time, but how many people are gonna buy from that, right? Because that sounds like an expensive event. So what I want to say is, when you have all this energy to do the launch, it's the energy that you spend over time. So whatever money you're spending on it, and it doesn't matter what the budget is, because you can make it. It's just tougher if you have little money, but you can make it, right? Like a little spark, a little smoke can turn into an inferno. You can make it happen, but that means you have to be even more careful about how you spend every single dollar. So the events that you plan, and when I say event, it doesn't necessarily, I'm hoping a majority of it is online, a digital, some sort of event where people can witness it online, because that way you're talking to the world and not just a small portion of local people who can meet it, or local to whatever city you're going to do it. Even if you're going to do LA, New York, Tokyo, it's still only the people who are going to attend at that event. So making sure you capture it on video is much bigger than that. But I'm kind of zooming in. What I want to zoom out a little bit, and what I want to say is, just remember it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. So whatever kind of money you're going to spend that money on the marathon, not one big jump off. You don't want the 4th of July and then you're all spent, that's it. If no one buys, then you've spent, let's just say, $5,000 to $10,000 on an event, and that's it, right? You want to spend that money wisely. You want to spend a lot of, instead of spending it on fireworks, you want to spend a lot of that money on testing, ad buys on Facebook and Instagram, or when you're watching this in the future, whatever social media is relevant and where eyeballs are, where you can target the ads to be around the other brands so that you can try to get some of their consumers involved. That's what you want to do. Okay, I'm a big fan of doing events and launches, but you have to do it in moderation, because again, it's a marathon, right? Say it with me, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So big piece of advice that I want to get across, and I was telling my friend this in the conversation. To me, it's second nature, but I definitely should say this, especially for some of the green companies, because sometimes when I come into consulting, I'll pump the brakes really fast, say, hey, wait a minute, let me give you several scenarios to think about before you go 100% in that direction, because you might be burning a lot of time, money, and energy that you're gonna wish you didn't spend that much time on, right? Proof of concept, guys. I always talk about proof of concept. You want to use the pea shooter and figure out that your aim is on point and it's making a difference before you launch the cannonball. Okay, so you want proof of concept. Get proof of concept, do a lot of testing. Hope that helps. Any other things you guys want to talk about? Hashtag AMA. Hashtag clothing brand mentor, for real. But ask me anything. You guys could drop it all down below. I'll get a lot of my content from there to make another video. Let's like this video all at the same time, okay? We're gonna like it at the same time. 1, 2, 3, like. Perfect. Thanks, you guys. At Jon Phenom on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the boy when you have a chance. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.